NASA just announced an ambitious $20 billion plan to build a base on the moon. It's among several new initiatives the agency unveiled yesterday. NASA says it wants to better achieve President Trump's national space policy and advance American leadership in space. So let's bring in CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood, who joins us from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So, Bill, break down these other initiatives that NASA has. Does it feel ambitious to you, or is it low-hanging fruit? That's the question we all had.
Well, it almost sounds like science fiction to me. You know, NASA has unveiled really ambitious plans in the past. The first President Bush announced a plan in '89, '90 to go back to the moon. The younger Bush then announced a plan to reestablish moon bases in 2004. That's when he made that announcement. And then Trump came in his first administration and said, okay, we're really going to do this. And now they've laid out this plan to build a moon base that it's all technically feasible. They can do this. The question is, will they have the money to do it over the long haul? And will the next administration and the next Congress and then down the line continue to support it? That's a billion-dollar question.
That's a $20 billion question, Bill. I'm wondering if it's a base.
Exactly.
Does that mean that it's going to be staffed always? And then secondly, are we in the age where we have to prepare for space security? Are we in the Star Wars age?
Well, first question is, we think it's going to operate kind of like the International Space Station, where you'd have crews go and stay for weeks or maybe months at a time, and then another crew comes down and stays for weeks or months. But it's basically intended to establish a permanent presence on the moon. And it's basically for research, for, they want to get resources off the moon that they can use for deep space missions, things like that. I don't see a national security part of this. I do see a superpower bragging rights kind of a thing. You know, there's only a couple of countries in the world that can mount space missions. That is clearly a superpower feat. And China says they're going to get there in 2030, and NASA's clearly trying to beat them to the surface. So it's more like a modern space race, to show the world which system is better, close quote. But I think it's more of that than it is actually any kind of an actual security issue.
Given all of the delays, Bill, we thought this was going to happen in March. Are these goals plausible? I mean,
well, it depends on how things go down the road. You know, the first step is this mission coming up in 1 week from today, on April 1st, the Artemis 2 mission, where 4 astronauts are going to go fly around the moon and come straight back. That's the first time anybody will have been around the moon in more than 50 years. They're going to follow that with a flight in Earth orbit next year to test moon landers. And then if all goes well, in 2028, they plan 1 and possibly 2 moon landing missions. And then after that, this new policy kicks in. They're trying to accelerate the launch rate so that they can launch 2 moon landing missions per year to get this base built and to carry on the program. So the first step comes with this flight next week, Artemis 2.
We're so excited for it. Artemis, of course, is the sibling of
Apollo.
In Greek mythology. I knew you would know that one. Thank you, Bill Harwood.